Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Labor flags parliamentary inquiry into Scientology's tax-free riches. From Ben Schneider's April 6, 2021. Labor charity spokesman Andrew Lay has flagged a parliamentary inquiry into Scientology, expressing concerns about its unprecedented wealth and shifting of assets into Australia. The comments come after an investigation by The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald found that the Church of Scientology had shifted tens of millions of dollars into Australia from offshore and had made $65.4 million in tax-free net profits since 2013. Imagine all that money made off manual labor, trafficking, child labor. They get paid $47 a week. Mr. Lay now backs Green's calls for the Australian charities and not-for-profit commission to investigate Scientology, but has also flagged the potential for a federal parliamentary committee to conduct an investigation. In the corporate tax space, we've been doing a lot of work over recent years on multinational tax avoidance in the practice that multinationals have engaged in moving resources into lower tax jurisdictions, he told ABC Radio late on Monday. I think it would be useful for Australians to be assured that the Church of Scientology isn't practicing something similar. Australia doesn't want to be a tax haven for charities. Mr. Lay said it was appropriate the charities watchdog looks very carefully into these activities. Then they've got a little diagram here. The first one says money shifted to and from New Zealand. And then to the right, you've got Taiwan, parishioner revenue, because they're getting a lot of people from Taiwan, I believe. And then you have loan grants, U.S.-based church. To the left, you've got Japan, license fees, ecclesiastical services, parishioner revenue. Funny thing is, they never can decide, they're employees or volunteers. If the information isn't forthcoming from the Church of Scientology that satisfies people, then we may well go down the path to a parliamentary inquiry. I sure hope this happens. Green's Treasury spokesman, Nick McKim, said the party was open to a Senate inquiry if the ACNC is unwilling to investigate or unable to get its hands on the information it needs. There is a serious need for transparency around the movement of funds across the globe and how Scientology is using its charity status in Australia, he said. The Church of Scientology, Australia, in a statement accused the Age and Herald of reporting fake news. Where have we heard that before? And said all its funds are dedicated to the Church's religious and charitable purposes with no need to move them anywhere except to further those purposes. Or, of course, to move perpetrators from country to country when they essay their daughters. The sole support for the churches of Scientology in Australia, indeed for all Scientology churches around the globe, derives from the substantial contributions of parishioners. All funds are used to further the church's religious and humanitarian mission. What a joke. A spokeswoman for the church, never have any names, do we, in an email said Mr. Lay's comments were based on false and defamatory reporting. Ooh. So all they can ever do is deny. In recent days, U.S.-based organizations linked to the church have accused the Age and Herald and this reporter of inciting religious bigotry. They always use that one, don't they? Of lying, of quoting anti-Scientologist extremists. Oh, now they're using that little key phrase. What a trip. And of even inciting potential genocide against Scientologists. No, I think they're doing that themselves. I think if there was any real good hard data on the death rate in Scientology, I believe if you put it aside from various populations, their death rate is really high. Of course, in black magic, maybe that was the point. Who knows? A parliamentary inquiry would be a significant step. In 2009, former Senator Nick Xenophon pushed for an inquiry into Scientology after using parliamentary privilege to detail allegations of serious abuse against former adherents. Scientology denied the claims, they always do, that push did not win support from the major parties, but a separate, broader inquiry was held that recommended the creation of a charities regulator. I believe Senator Xenophon did do a lot of good work towards change here. Mr. Lay said things have changed since then due to Scientology's growing wealth. Despite its falling number of adherents and more allegations of abuse, particularly in the U.S., Labor spokesman Andrew Lay flagged support for a potential parliamentary inquiry into Scientology. It's what a real man looks like, guys. Not some of these Scientologists like males who like to drug and are their women. Or, they might leave the drugs out of it, but they sure do love RN over there. Children and women. I think we've given the Church of Scientology the benefit of the doubt in the past, and increasingly now that the more their assets go up and the less transparent they are, the more concerns are being raised, he said. Those who've seen the documentary Going Clear, I think, have been concerned by the way in which the church has operated in the U.S. He said religions are assumed to be delivering a public benefit to Australia. Yeah, well, they definitely missed the boat everywhere on that one. The only benefit they do is to their own pockets. Whether financial fraud, whether talking Aunt Sally into mortgaging her house and then she loses her house. Or what does that call? Reverse loans and all that crap. It's where they get all their money. It's just sad. But the Church of Scientology is quite unusual now in that it has less than 17 adherents, according to the last census, and more than 170 million in assets. Can you imagine that, you guys? All those assets, and those people are living in poverty, eating beans and rice, working on minuscule wages. It's disgusting. Not to mention their living quarters and all the other abuse that goes on. Scientology shifts millions to Australia, books multi-million-dollar profits. So that means that for every adherent, they've got more than 100,000 in assets. I think it would also be useful for the Australian public if the Church of Scientology was to make very clear to Australians what broad public benefits they gain from providing, as a community, this tax concessional status. Assistant Treasurer Michael Sukar has been approached for comment. So that's it for that one, you guys. I will put a link in the description box. If you so choose, like and subscribe. Have a great day or a great night wherever you are. Peace.